Hello everybody, this is CodeHusky, and today I'm going to be going over how you're supposed to set up HuskyCrates for use on a server. To get started, you're going to want to look up HuskyCrates if you haven't already found the download link. And to do so, you can just type in HuskyCrates into Google, and the first result you'll get is the plugin. This will be moving to OR eventually. As of the recording, which is on the 9th of December, it's currently in the plugin releases subform. So the most recent version is the most recent version on GitHub. And to find that, you'd go to GitHub releases. Now, I should note that you need both HuskyCrates, which is the current version pre-7 hotfix 4, and you also need the latest version of HuskyCrates. Husky UI. So we'll download both this. Yep, we'll save that, and we'll go to Husky UI. We'll click releases just to double check, and we'll download this version. There you go. So after you do that, you can drop both Husky UI and HuskyCrates into your mods folder and start the server. So everything went fine. There's no red text. Everything's great. So HuskyCrates has loaded. No problems whatsoever. You can see the database loaded, ended, everything's good. So we can begin configuring a crate. So HuskyCrates creates 3 configuration files when it's installed. It creates crates, HuskyCrates, and keys. I'm planning on renaming HuskyCrates to config, so it's more clear that this is only for use with plugin-wide configurations, including language data for replacing built-in messages. That's not clear. It's pretty ambiguous right now, but keep in mind this is 2.0's pre-release builds, so not everything is final or set in place or even implemented at this time. Okay, so let me just run you down through a few things here. So in this file you'll see secure keys, and secure keys is basically a system that I've created that prevents people from duplicating keys and creating fake ones through bugs or duplication glitches with any mods in your server. It attaches a unique ID to every key that is given to a player through the plugin. Keep in mind, this means that you need to run the key command when you're giving people keys, otherwise you will result in people getting falsely reported for duplicating keys. Now, if you don't want this system, but the main downside is that keys don't stack very nice, what you'd want to do is you just set this to false and all of your problems would go away there. So, moving on from HuskyCrates.conf, we're going to start talking about crates and keys. Now, you'll see both of these have this placeholder message just saying to check the documentation or use Husky Configurator with the link to the Discord below. Now, if you don't need keys. Keys is for custom keys that don't have any direct correlation to a crate. You don't have to worry about those right now. All we need to worry about is crates, which is the main function of the plugin. I'll go into keys.config in a later video. This is just going to be talking about how to get this set up. So you'll see Husky Configurator, and you're going, wait, where do I get that? Well, if you go back to the topic here, there's a config creator/editor link. You can open that, and there you go. Here you go. All right here. So you can click right here and download. Now keep in mind, this is for version v1.7 and before 2.0. So we have to do an extra step to get to a 2.0 configuration for now, because 2.0 is, again, a pre-release, and I haven't had time to update the Husky Configurator for 2.0's new config system. So once Windows Defender lets me have this file here, okay. So what Husky Configurator is it's basically just basically just a configuration generator, and it's pretty simple. As long as something doesn't go wrong with the Java file and you don't run it repeatedly, Keep in mind you can't run this as a plugin. It's an application that launches a web app. Yeah, so everything's done in the browser until you save, and where it saves is where the jar is. So we'll actually exit, and this will just dump the current install of Husky Configurator. I'm going to show you this just by going and putting Husky Configurator in its own folder just inside of the server, just for simplicity reasons. And I'll launch it. You'll see we'll get up here. Nothing's in here yet. And I'm going to type in HuskyCrate, and we're going to set this to be a spinner. So, yep, everything's good. Now we have to go and add an item. Let's call it cheese. We'll make it a sponge. We're going to put them to like 5. Check the meta. We'll change this to like epic sponge. Dude. And we'll enchant it with sharpness 255. There we go. Save. Weight. So this is okay. I'll explain the weight system. The weight system basically works by it takes all of the weights of everything in the crate, adds them together, and the weight of an item is put over the total, and that's the chance that you have of getting this. So as you can see, 4 out of 4, 100% of the time you'll get this. If I add another item, it's 4 out of 5. So you get that every, like you'd get that about 80% of the time, and then you get this one about 20% of the time. And I'll call this one just epic stick, and I'll make this a stick. I'll have it be 1. This will be knockback, and it'll be like 255, something nuts. There, and we'll say this was really rare, so we'll just crank this one up to 9. So 9 out of 10 times you run it, you'd get that, and then you'd get that 1 out of 10 times. So that's basically how this works. And the reward, it's by default return display item, which is okay. That's what we want. We'll also put a message here, which is just gonna be a server message. Actually, no, we're gonna say MSG %p hello. I believe that's the player. I am not 100% sure. I don't remember what the old wildcards are for HuskyCrates. I'd have to look. As you can see here, we can also look and see what our particles would look like in basically real time. We can modify our RGB values. For instance, I'm going to make this one green. There we go. I'm going to make this one... How about we make this one this pink color? Yeah, that looks good to me. We'll not make it a free crate because we want to show off keys, and we'll talk about that later. And as you can see, there's no other configuration. So if it's save, there you go. Now we have HuskyCrates.conf, which has test crate, as you can see, and our enchantments, 255 sharpness, knockback, all good stuff. This is what we want. I'm not 100% sure why these are strings, but that's alright. Well, it'll be okay. We can double check and see if I can fix that really quick here. If I do that, does that fix it? No. Alright, well, that's alright. So, do not, and I repeat, don't put this as your HuskyCrates.configuration file for your plugin in 2.0. It won't work. It'll throw an error. It'll tell you to convert it. Now, you're probably going, how do I convert this? Why is there so many steps? It's in dev. I'm sorry. I'd have to do a lot of work to get this to all work nicely, and I just don't really want to do that right now. I'm sorry. So we're gonna just go and get the configuration converter. You could see I clicked on my username here, and then I clicked on config converter. There you go. And click on releases, and click on this. And there you go. Now you have the configuration converter once Windows Defender lets me have it. Okay, so we'll drag this in. It doesn't need to be in the same folder. We'll launch it. And you see it has this nice interface. It's not too appealing looking, but it works. So you click that. You'll browse to your folder, which mine is called Go. There you go. Okay, so we'll hit convert. There we go. Done. It found test crate, has 2 items. There you go. So this new version is perfect. It'll work great. I don't know about this quoted garbage here, but we'll fix that later. So everything looks good to me. We've got this. That looks good. Yeah, alright, so we've got a converted crate, basically, which is great. That's what we wanted. Looks like we got our lore here. We have a server met command, which sends a message to %p. All good stuff. This is what we want. There might be a problem with it being %p, and we'll go over that in a second, because the converter does have some slight problems, but I'll go over that in a second. Just don't worry about it right now. We'll copy this, and we'll go to our config. Here we go. Paste it in. Delete the old crates, and remove .converted. There you go. So now, if we go back to the server and we type HC reload, there we go. So you could see that the conversion went wrong, and the reason why it went wrong was because for some reason the configurator thinks that it's okay to put this as a string, and that's not what we want. That's not correct. So we'll fix that. That's what the quotes mean. It makes it a string. Everything that's a number should be a number. So go and just fix that. It's a bug. I'll fix it probably after this video goes out, so you might not even have to deal with this. I'll save it again, do the command. Now we have a different error. Oops, I saved the wrong file. Sorry about that. My mistake. There. Okay, so now we know we don't have any errors. You can ignore this null, it's not an error. So everything's working good now. So if I fire up Minecraft here. So now that we're here, we are admin, we can test out the plugin. So we'll go HC block, and I'll hit tab, which gives us a crate. I'm going to put myself to creative. Let me just... There, okay. So I'll put this down. And there you go. You can see we have our crate. That's another bug, the fact that it's doing that, and I'll show you how to fix that. So we'll go to crates. I'll change this to counter orbit. I believe that's what it is. Yep, okay. There you go. Now it's working right. As you can see, the conversion progress is a little finicky, but it does work. And I'm going to probably fix most of the issues I'm running into right now because I wasn't aware of them before. And now it's more clear. So you can see we need to create. That message looks a little broken. Don't worry about it. And we'll go HC key and I'll test crate. There we go. Now we have a key. I can hit it. Here's our stuff. As you can see, we got cheese. It's just 5 cheese. I'll chuck it. And I'll show you one more thing here. So HC key. There you go. So V is virtual key, which is just a virtual balance of keys, which can work with crates. You can either use a crate or a key ID to get a key, the amount, and the player. So I can say HKey V test crate, and it'll say 99999 and 5. So I have that many test crate keys now. So now I can just hit it. There you go. I have a stick, and the server whispered to me hello. The plugin does have some... I believe it has some... What is it called? It has like fallback methods. It might, or that's just the server being like, okay, you're close to null. I don't know. I don't remember. But there is a different, I believe, way of addressing the player in 2.0. My mistake. Okay. So rewards here's basically a quick rundown on everything you can do in a message or command string. %p lowercase is the player's name. %p uppercase is their unique ID. %cxi is the crate's location on the x-axis. cyi and czi are also those. And those are integers, so they won't have any floating digits. cxd, cyd, and czd may have floating digits if it's a entity crate, which is currently not supported. You can also get the player's coordinates with pxi, pyi, and pzi, as well as pxd, pyd, and pzd. You can get the display name of the reward with %r. You can get a vowel for the display name with %a. So if you want to be like a orange crate or an red crate, you could say that. And %c is the crate's name. If it doesn't have a name or the crate's broken, it'll say invalid crate, contact admins, but yeah. And if placeholder API is there, it'll attempt to do that, but that's not in the current build, so don't worry about that. Some of these other things might not be in the current build as well, but they will be soon. Now let's go over reward types really quick, because if you check here, you can see rewards type item, type server command. So there's, I believe there are, let's check together. I don't remember. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of rewards. Effect is irrelevant. Key is like a key. Item is an item, either the display item if there's no item provided, or the provided item. You can be a server or user message, and a server command or user command. So you can run a command as a user or server, or send a message to the user or the whole server. So for the item type, it will get the reward item and just give it to the player. Server message, server, user, blah blah blah. Effect, it'll try to run an effect depending on where it's supposed to run. Effects are different. I haven't really finished that system. It's not adequately tested, so I don't recommend you mess with it. If you want to mess with it, check the code base and it'll make a little bit of sense. Yeah, so key is pretty simple. You provide a key count, key ID, and it'll give the key to the player. Keep in mind that you have to give the local key prefix if it's a crate key. Yeah, so yeah, key, it checks for reward string. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Effect, yeah, key. Alright, so let's change this to user message. And I'll just change this to and a hello. There we go. And we'll just HC reload. So now if I get that, there you go. It says hello. You can also see that it has messages telling you when you use keys. But yes, it'll say hello. It'll print a message out for you. But if I want to do a server message and be like %p has one in epic stick, I can do that. Just there you go. Now it says so and so has one in epic stick to everyone in the server, not just users. So yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to also demonstrate key duplication. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to HC key the key really quick. HC key the negative 99976. Okay, so now my HC val should be 0. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, now I have 0. So now I'll just show you HC key test crate. So now I have 1. So let's duplicate this because we're gonna cause chaos. So we'll use it. Now it works, but we have 3 more of the same key, and this is the secure key system reacting. If I use it, yeah, it does that. It's pretty scary. You can check the logs, also have a printout for it. Dupe alert, player fahe, UUID, try to use a stack of 1, local key test crate keys. If I had a stack of 64, it does the same thing. Now let me log in with another account, and I'll show you what it looks like for an admin that's not doing it really quick, and I'll just deop fahe. Oops, sorry, that's the same account. My bad. Freaking Mojang. Yeah, I know Minecraft's already running. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna mute the I'm gonna mute one client. So I'll mute this, so now we're not an admin, and we'll try to do it. So it does that cat hiss sound. It's kind of chilling. It's pretty scary. It tells you that you were caught with fake keys, and it's reported to the admins. And yeah, it's pretty scary. So let's opt Lokia 27. So I'll mute this client, and we'll go to the other client, turn the volume up. So what will happen is this client here, this admin account, I'll do this on my other screen here so it's a bit more easy to see. What will happen is when they try to use this key, yeah, they get a cat sound just to get their attention. Like a cat hurt sound. It says key duplication alert. And then the player, UUID, tried to use 64 stack of keys. And, you know, that might be a little clear if they're using a 64 stack of keys that aren't legit. You might be like, what? So, yeah, there you go. There's that. Now, if you don't want to have secure keys, I'll show you that you can just disable that. Set it to false. Okay. And I'll run HC reload. Okay. And now, all these keys will work as if they were real. It doesn't even care anymore. It's like, whatever, that's fine. Also, if I do this, HC key test crate 10 at all, I can do that several times, and they all stack, because they're all the same. They don't have any NBT data besides being a test crate key. So, no matter what you do, they'll always stack together. Now, if you activate secure keys after having it previously disabled, and let me I'll have to opt that account. Can I do that? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna TP to fahe and drop them a few keys. There you go. Those are illegitimate keys according to the system now. So it'll do that. It'll throw the hiss alarm, or the cat. It throws the cat alarm, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, it's pretty scary. I honestly get chilled by hearing it, so it's not a very nice thing to hear. But yeah, all of these keys, they don't have any NBT data besides a crate ID now, so now they're useless. So keep that in mind. If you have it disabled, you're going to want to keep it disabled or make sure everyone uses their keys before you enable it, because then they will stop working. They will stop working entirely. So make sure your users know that. It's super important. So we'll go and I'll explain a few more things here. So it's important to know how this works. The effects is not super important. It's just your particle effects. You can see you can customize a lot of stuff here. The animation preset, these are the only 2 that exist as of right now. You may have seen videos of different particle effects, but those are custom and they run on a slow system, so I don't recommend using them right now. But if your server is beefy enough to handle that, I suggest doing it because it's cool. You can see you can alter the hologram. So like if I want to, let's log out of this account. If I wanted to, I could basically add another line to this, and I could be like, and L and for 50% off. and HC reload. Oops. Oh, I guess those aren't. Sorry, it's and. Why did I do %? Silly me. Yeah, there you go. See, you can add 50% off to your crate. Really easy, and no fuss at all. It's pretty simple. You can remove that. Good as new. You can see I added enough space to allow you to do that in the first place. So yeah, you can customize the holograms to your liking, so you don't have to worry about that. There's a configuration thing for, I'll show you that right now, for holograms. Oh, I have to go to hologram, sorry. Here you go. So you can set the Y offset, which is usually 0. So if I go Y offset equals 10, and I back up a little bit, you can see it went up. So keep that in mind. If you ever, this is by block, just so you know. So if you have a bunch, like if you want another line but you don't want it to push down too far into your crate, you can, you know, and L and C 50% off. You can do that, and there you go. Ignore those are bugs. I'll tell you how to do this. At E, type equals hologram, R equals 10. Oh, sorry, not hologram. Armor stand. I believe there's an underscore. Yep. Okay, so fly up and kill that one too. And we'll just reload the plugin, and there you go, it's back. And that's how you fix that, by the way. So yeah, you can see it's up now. If I set this to 0, it'll go down. If I put it back, it goes back up. And yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty cool. I like that. I added that. It's really handy. I've found a lot of servers think it's pretty handy. So yeah, there's that. Chance is the same as weight. Display items now. I made this a bit more organized. Rewards can be this. You can make reward groups. You can have rewards select. You can turn off local keys. There's a lot you can do. But this is just the basic rundown on how to get HuskyCrates running on your server. If you have any questions, make sure to go to the Discord, ask more questions if you need. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video, so until next time.